As one of the best female rappers the world has ever seen, Lauryn Hill shot up to global fame with her performances. From Grammy Awards to chart toppers, she saw all the glory of earned by a popular musician. But her fame came at a price, and her personal life started falling apart. Soon she was having breakdowns on stage. While the world is still waiting for her second solo album, we dive in to find out what really happened to Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Noelle Hill was born in New Jersey on May 26, 1975. Her mother worked as an English teacher while her father worked as a computer management consultant. According to Lauryn, her family was extremely passionate about music. "We were always surrounded by music," she said. Her mother used to play the piano while her father sang, so it's no surprise that Lauryn made her debut in music at a very young age. Young Lauryn performed the Star-Spangled Banner at a basketball game while in middle school. Her performance was flawless, and it gained so much popularity that later games played a recording of it. In 1998, Lauryn sang Smokey Robinson's Who's Loving You on its Showtime at the Apollo. The response she received was far different this time. In fact, the crowd booed her through the performance. For a child, this could have been a traumatizing experience, but Lauryn persevered and completed her performance. Lauryn was an achiever through and through. In high school, she aced everything she did, from academics and sports to cheerleading, acting, and music. Lauryn later said that she felt driven to do her best in whatever field she partook in. In her freshman days, Lauryn met with Pras Michael to hear about a band he was putting together. With a few more members, the band began performing locally and in high school talent shows. That's where Lauryn first began rapping. The band was hard at work to the point that Lauryn was sometimes doing her homework in the bathroom stalls of hip-hop clubs. Lauryn also tried her hand in acting. She started off by acting in a hip-hop rendering of a Shakespearean play. Although the play was not a success, Lauryn's performance caught the eye of an agent, who got her a spot in a soap opera. In Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, playing an inner-city rebellious Catholic school teenager, Lauryn co-starred alongside Whoopi Goldberg. A few years in, and Pras called in Wyclef Jean to join their band to add in some reggae into the mix. When Wyclef joined in, he was taken in by Lauryn. However, Pras asked Wyclef to keep his distance since Lauryn was much younger than him. Lauryn graduated from high school in 1993. The next year, she, Pras, and Wyclef changed their band name to Fugees. Around that time, despite Pras's protests, Lauryn and Wyclef began a relationship. In 1993, the band first signed their contract with Rough House Records. This was their first contract, and the band gained popularity for mixing together several genres in their music. They released their debut album, Blunted on Reality, in 1994. Although it managed to be listed on the Billboard's R&B charts, the sales were poor. Their second album, The Score, released in 1996 and was much more successful. It reached number 1 on the US Billboard 200 and stayed on top for more than 6 months, selling more than 22 million copies globally. The album earned the band a Grammy for the Best Rap Album and was included in Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. Lauryn's singles from the album were praised far and wide for her amazing vocal skills. By the time Lauryn became 21, she was a world-famous star, but she was still living with her parents. Lauryn enrolled at Columbia University and considered majoring in history, but as sales for her album continued to rise, she left her studies. During 1996 and 1997, Lauryn used her newfound wealth to contribute to many charitable projects. She founded a project to teach at-risk urban youth, raised money for Haitian refugees, and supported clean water projects in Kenya and Uganda. In the summer of 1996, Lauryn met Rohan Marley, son of Bob Marley. Lauryn was still involved with Wyclef, even though he was married to designer Marie Claudinette at the time. However, after finding Rohan, she began a relationship with him, and was still going out with Wyclef as well. Lauryn announced her pregnancy in late 1996, though she did not inform who the father of the child was. Wyclef later said that Lauryn had led him to believe that he was the father all along. Throughout their time together, the relationship between Lauryn and Wyclef was a rocky one. Wyclef later wrote to the Daily News, admitting that it was as though they were outlaws in love. "We had fights on planes, we had huge fights, and a few times when it went down, she started swinging at me right there in the seats. People would scatter. We never got arrested, but we came close a few times in Europe." The pregnancy put strains on the band as well. Finally, after Lauryn gave birth to her son in 1997, and her father was revealed to be Rohan, the band split up for good. In his autobiography, Wyclef said that his stormy relationship with Lauryn led the band to their ruin. In late 1997, Lauryn began recording her solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Initially, Wyclef did not support her in her solo career, but when he did eventually step up, Lauryn turned him away. The album featured several songs about the frustrations that she had with her band and Wyclef. There were also songs dedicated to her son, where she mentions how people wanted her to get an abortion so that the child won't get in the way of her booming career. The album was a massive success and was the most acclaimed album of 1998. The mix and match of genres, including R&B, hip-hop, reggae, and more, were greatly admired. The senior writer of Rolling Stone said that the album had astonishing power, strength, and feeling. Within its first week, the album sold over 400,000 copies and went on to sell 20 million copies worldwide. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill set record after record. It topped the Billboard 200 for 4 weeks and the R&B chart for 6. During the 1999 Grammy Awards, Lauryn became the first woman to be nominated in 10 categories in a single year. Lauryn set another record by becoming the first woman to win 5 awards in one night at the Grammys, which included awards for Album of the Year, Best R&B Album, Best R&B Song, Best Female R&B Vocal Performance, and Best New Artist. To top things off, Lauryn became the youngest woman to be named in Ebony magazine's 100 Plus Most Influential Black Americans list. In the middle of all of this, in November 1998, Lauryn gave birth to her second child. Lauryn said that being a mother of 2 is not an easy situation at all. You have to really pray and be honest with yourself. But from this point onwards, Lauryn's life started unraveling. In the same month, New Arc sued Lauryn and her record label, saying that Lauryn used their songs and production skills, but did not give due credit. The case was eventually settled out of court in 2001 when Lauryn paid $5 million to New Arc. A friend said that this began a chain of events that would turn things upside down. Following her immense popularity, Lauryn was offered spots in some of the most famous movies to date, including Charlie's Angels, The Bourne Identity, The Mexican, The Matrix Reloaded, and The Matrix Revolutions in the early 2000s. But Lauryn turned all of these down. According to her friend, the pressure of stardom weighed her down. Her friend said that Lauryn despised the manufactured International Superstar magazine cover girl who wasn't able to go out of the house looking a little tattered on any given day. Because Lauryn is such a perfectionist, she always sought to give the fans what they wanted, so a simple run to the grocery store had to have the right heels and jeans. All of the pressure was too much for Lauryn, and so in 2000, she took a break from the public eye. During her time away, she became a close follower of a spiritual advisor named Brother Anthony, who people thought to be a cult leader. Lauryn was starting to fall apart. She abruptly fired her management team and devoted herself to Bible classes. It was revealed that Lauryn was pregnant with her third child as well. In 2001, she recorded an MTV Unplugged session, but in the middle of a performance, Lauryn completely broke down. She burst into tears and started saying, "I'm crazy and deranged. I'm emotionally unstable." She also added, "I used to be a performer, and I really don't consider myself a performer anymore. I created this public persona, this public illusion, and it held me hostage. I couldn't be a real person because you're too afraid of what your public will say." After her fourth child was born, Lauryn and Rohan drifted apart. Being an unwed mother brought her many criticisms, and she claimed many times that she was going to marry Rohan. But things between them ended for unknown reasons, and Lauryn moved out with her children. Lauryn then insisted on being addressed as Miss Hill instead of Lauryn. She also informed that she is working on a new album, which has to be released. Ever loyal to her bandmate, Press clarified the struggles Lauryn went through. He denied all comments labeling Lauryn as having lost her mind, saying that people tend to say that when they don't understand what someone's going through. Walk in her shoes and see what you do. And that is the rise and fall of the iconic singer and rapper of the late 1900s. What do you think happened to her? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.